Welcome to AI Pulse, your daily brief on everything happening in the world of artificial intelligence. It's January 5th, 2026, and today we are right in the middle of a huge collision. On one side, you've got this incredible vision of AI as a tool to make us better, smarter, more creative. And on the other, well, there's the messy, often super frustrating reality of what we're actually using. So let's get into it. So let's start with this quote from Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella. He's trying to get us to think about this whole thing differently. He's saying, hey, forget about the arguments over whether AI is sophisticated or just, well, slop. Instead, he wants us to see AI as a cognitive amplifier. Think of it like a tool that boosts our own brainpower. The idea here isn't replacement, it's partnership, making us better at what we already do. Okay, but here's where that grand vision slams right into a brick wall. Almost as soon as people started talking about cognitive amplifiers, the term microslop starts blowing up online. And what is that? It's people's shorthand for all the low-quality, just plain wrong AI-generated stuff they're seeing everywhere, even in Microsoft's own products. This slide, it pretty much sums up the entire debate right now, the beautiful vision versus the clumsy, frustrating reality. So we're looking at the great AI debate, promise versus reality. And make no mistake, this isn't just some fight happening on social media. This tension, this push and pull, it's shaping literally everything in AI today, from the cutting-edge science all the way to the global economy. All right, next up, AI that's transforming the world, from research labs to public services. So for a minute, let's step away from the debate and look at where the promise is actually coming true. Because far from the online arguments, AI is quietly doing some absolutely incredible things.
Okay, check this out. At Penn State, AI is totally revolutionizing materials science. Researchers are using large language models, yep, the same kind of tech behind chatbots, to design something called metasurfaces. Now, what are those? They're basically these super complex materials, engineered at a tiny, tiny scale that can bend light in amazing ways. This is the kind of stuff you need for truly mind-blowing VR or the next cameras for our phone.
And this is where it gets absolutely mind-boggling. Just look at this timeline of the AI speed up. Before AI, designing one of these materials took months of super specialized work. Then early AI models cut that down to hours or days. But now, with today's LLMs, you can get highly accurate designs in seconds. You just tell the AI what you want, and boom. It's not just a little faster. This completely changes the game for how science gets done.
But this incredible power isn't just locked away in a lab. Over in England, the NHS is using AI to predict demand in its emergency rooms. Trying to solve that huge problem of overcrowding, especially when things get crazy in the winter.
So how does the NHS actually predict this demand? Well, the AI tool basically looks at everything. It digs into seasonal health data, it checks the weather forecast from the Met Office, to see if a cold snap is coming, and it tracks who's coming through the door every single day. About 50 different NHS organizations are already using it, and the goal is simple: predict the rushes before they happen so you can have the right staff and resources ready. It means shorter waits and better care, plain and simple.
Okay, now for the new AI economy, growth and disruption. Because let's be real, when you have this much transformation, it's gonna cause some serious economic waves. For every amazing new efficiency, there's an old way of doing things that gets completely turned upside down. 200,000. Just let that number sink in for a second. No context yet. Just think about the sheer size of it. What could that possibly be? Well, that's how many jobs European banks are planning to cut. Why? Because AI is taking over massive parts of their operations. All those back office tasks, risk management, compliance checks, the kind of stuff that thousands and thousands of people used to do is now being done by algorithms. And this isn't some far-off prediction. It is happening as we speak. And this chart really shows you the two faces of AI automation, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got a company like Foxconn. They're building the hardware that makes all this AI possible, and their revenue is up a massive 22%. They're booming. But on the other hand, you have the European banking sector looking at shedding 200,000 jobs. It's a story of incredible growth and incredible disruption happening at the exact same time. But the economic shifts are really just the start. Because right now, AI is making its biggest jump ever. It's moving from behind our screens and into the real physical world. We're going from chatbots to humanoid robots. The term for this is physical AI. And really, it's about taking these AIs that can think and understand language and giving them bodies.
We're talking about robots, self-driving systems, smart devices, anything that can actually see, touch, and interact with the world around us.
And if you want to see this in action, look no further than CES 2026. All the industry giants are going all in on robotics. I mean, Nvidia CEO is making his whole keynote about AI and robots and how they simulate the real world. The message is crystal clear. The next big thing in AI isn't digital, it's physical. So, what does it take to build a humanoid robot? Well, you need a few key parts. First, le cerveau, the brain. That's something like Qualcomm's new Dragonwing IQ10 chip, built just for this. Then you need la puissance, the power. That comes from next-gen GPUs from companies like Nvidia. But here's the really cool part, le toucher, the sense of touch. Companies like XELA Robotics are creating these amazing ooze-skin sensors that give robots a sense of touch that's almost human. It's a total game changer.
Okay, from hype to reality, the challenges of integration. Because as cool as humanoid robots sound, we've got to pull back a bit. Getting this tech from a shiny demo in a lab to something that actually works in your home or at your job, yeah, that's proving to be a massive challenge.
And just look at this consumer rollout. You've got two perfect examples of this friction right here. Over in China, Apple is doing these small, cautious tests of its Apple Intelligence, and the feedback? Pretty mixed. People are saying it just doesn't live up to the marketing hype. Then you've got Grok, X's chatbot, in India. The government there literally gave them 72 hours to fix it because it was putting out obscene stuff. This is the messy, complicated, real world of AI. And all of this really leads to what feels like the big consensus for 2026. We are seeing a major shift from AI hype to AI pragmatism. It seems like everyone is starting to move past the crazy promises of what AI could do one day, and they're focusing on what it can actually reliably do for us right now. So as we look ahead, what are the key AI trends to watch in 2026? Well, here's what's on the radar. First, AI agents that actually do stuff for you, not just chat with you. Second, world models. These are AIs that are being taught a basic, common-sense understanding of the physical world. Third, of course, is physical AI, getting those models into robots that can interact with the environment. And finally, a really interesting one, small language models, these highly optimized AIs that are all about being efficient and great at one specific thing. And that brings us right back to where we started, to that big question. AI is an amplifier, no doubt about it. It can amplify our intelligence, our creativity, but it can also amplify our biases, create huge economic problems, and spread misinformation like wildfire. So the real question for all of us moving forward isn't really about the tech anymore. It's about us. How do we make sure that this incredible tool amplifies the best parts of who we are?